Hi, and welcome to the Listening Lounge, where we unravel stories, ignite conversations, one ear at a time. I'm Derek Dunn. Well, usually we do audio side of things, but we're doing both video and audio today. And by the way, you can follow, like, and support the Listening Lounge. I'm joined here by Mark Turner. Mark and I call games together on Mule Nation and Bobcat Nation. And we talk sports all the time, but Mark is a music, he likes to listen to a lot of music. And so I haven't had anyone yet to talk music about. Well, first of all, I got to say, you went to a concert recently featuring Earth, Wind, and Fire, Lionel Ritchie. Where and when was that, and how was the experience, man?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here. The show was Wednesday night, this past Wednesday.
Okay.
In Louisville, Kentucky.
But your stomping grounds.
Yeah, my old stomping grounds. But what a couple of great live acts. It was completely different. I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire came out, and they just rocked it out from start to finish. All high energy, go, go, go.
Yes.
You know, and this is coming from guys who were pretty much in their late 60s, early 70s.
I was asking about the original members of the band. I didn't know how many there were.
There's one that has passed away, the lead, one of the lead singers, Maurice White. Passed away. But tell you what, it was go, go, go all the time from start to finish. They played for about an hour and a half. And then Lionel Ritchie came on stage and played for 2.5 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Lionel Ritchie was completely different. He told a lot of stories. Yeah. He did some of his original things, did a lot of old Commodores music, and finished it up with We Are the World, because he's one of the writers of We Are the World.
Yeah.
And it was so great. I mean, everybody in the Yum Center, the KFC Yum Center there in Louisville, we were all just back and arms around each other, just singing, and everybody singing and having a good time.
Well, I was going to say, with Lionel Ritchie, I remember watching him as a judge on American Idol, and he's a really good judge on the show, and he really hasn't changed a bit. I think he's probably had plastic surgery done on him, but I don't know, but he looks like as if he was still like himself back in the 80s, and
with the Commodores,
and 70s, and so I think he's a really good judge on American Idol. I really like the advice he gives.
He told a lot of stories about his interactions with Luke Bryan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he talked about, one of the stories he told was Luke doesn't call him Lionel. It's Lionel. Lionel.
Southern accent.
Yeah. And then he talks about he recently learned from Luke Bryan the difference between drinking and dranking. So, but he told a lot of stories. It was really, really good. And like I say, played a lot of the old Commodores. Played a lot of his newer things. I mean, when I say newer, I'm talking mid to early to mid 80s.
Okay.
When he was out solo.
So, what about when I think of Earth, Wind, and Fire, I think of September. And then when I think of Lionel Ritchie, I think about We Are the World. I think Dancing on the Ceiling's one of them, and then there's a song he had, and I can't remember, but it just something about Your Love, I think, or whatever.
The name of the tour is the Sing a Song All Night Long tour.
Yeah, okay.
That's the name of the tour. And I've since found out from some friends of mine that live in Texas that Earth, Wind, and Fire is going to do some dates with Chicago.
Really?
Later in the year.
That'd be good, like for both bands having that brass section.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I love hearing the brass section. I love hearing the horns and everything.
I love a band with a horn section.
I tell you what, it's awesome.
And how ironic was it? We got back from the show on Thursday.
Yes.
Back to town. And we decided we'd go to the city band concert.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Livesey put in an Earth, Wind, and Fire section, and it was so cool. It was like so I had to after the city band concert Thursday, I had to go talk to Josh and show him some video.
Yeah.
From the Earth, Wind, and Fire show.
You're like, hey, Josh, I don't know if this was planned or not, or but
yeah, I don't know if he planned it, but I mean, it was.
It's kind of weird how it just like you guys just get back and like
ironic.
we just saw them last night,
Very ironic.
Yeah, very ironic indeed. But I was also thinking about you know, how you have George Strait. You see the news there. Broke the record for the largest ticketed concert.
Had to be Texas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kyle Field, Texas A&M.
Okay. Aggie Land.
There was 110,905 fans there.
Man.
And you know what? I looked this up. It surpassed the previous record held by the Grateful Dead in 1977.
Okay.
Because for that concert, you had 107,019 fans. That was at Raceway Park.
In New Jersey?
In New Jersey.
Okay.
But that right there, 110,000 some fans, you know, singing and jamming out to George Strait at Kyle Field.
Oh, yeah.
George Strait's 72, but yet he still draws big
Oh,
crowds.
yeah.
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And he's touring. I think he's touring this summer with Chris Stapleton.
Yes.
I mean, he was up in Indy a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's got some, I think he's coming to St. Louis.
Okay. I was going to say, when I looked up the number of the fans at Kyle Field for the George Strait concert, I was curious the record. Because Texas A&M, they are a football powerhouse. And I looked at the number to see how many fans, what's the largest record for fans for a football game there?
Right.
110,633.
Beat the record for football.
Yeah,
huh?
that was back on October 11th, 2014 when they hosted Ole Miss.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was going to say, that's crazy.
That's one of my bucket list things.
Yeah.
I want to go to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee for a UT game. I don't care who they play.
Yeah.
I just want to hear and feel 120,000 people singing Rocky Top.
Yes.
I mean, that's on my bucket list.
You see it on TV and you're like, I just wish I was there.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where you're at.
Yeah.
Didn't matter where you're at. Could you imagine?
I mean, I just see it and to feel it because you can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
And to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's unison.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine. And you can probably hear it for miles around.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you have the mountains, you can still hear it miles around.
I'm sure. I've never been along the interstate because it doesn't run too awful far from Neyland Stadium.
Mm-hmm. I
would assume if you drove by and there wasn't a lot of traffic, you probably could hear parts of the game.
Probably could with all the speakers and everything. And I mean, gosh, I've seen photos of it. There's a guy I know who is he's like a manager of a sports blogging website, and his son I think goes there. Like I've seen photos of them at Knoxville.
I have a friend I went to high school with.
Mm-hmm.
He and his son take a different trip to a major sporting event every year.
Really?
I mean, he's done all the SEC schools. He's done all Big Ten schools. He's done the Masters, the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I mean, he and his son just take a weekend and they go out to those big sporting events.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. See, I was wondering. Since you just saw Earth, Wind, and Fire, Lionel Ritchie, is there any memorable live performance or festival experience you'd like to share? Because I know you've been to several concerts.
I tell you what, there's several actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the Grateful Dead in St. Louis.
Okay.
And they did a 45-minute version of the song "Truckin'." I mean, I just jamming for 45 minutes. It was great.
Yeah.
And then went and saw the Eagles a couple of years ago.
Okay.
On the Hotel California tour.
Oh yeah.
And they came out, did not say a word. Didn't say hello, good evening, anything like that. They played the entire Hotel California album in order.
Mm-hmm.
In order. And then after they got done, Don Henley jumps up there and he says, this concludes this portion of the show. We're going to take a break, go have a cold one, and then we're going to come back and play every song we know. Everything else we know.
Awesome.
And they played for, 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours. I mean, it's incredible.
Wow.
Incredible.
Those
are a couple of the ones that really stick out in my mind.
For Grateful Dead, when did you see them live?
It would have been in St. Louis back in the early 90s.
I wonder, Jerry Garcia, if you saw him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think it was the summer before Jerry passed away.
Okay, been about 90,
was,
95, 96, 97 in the range, I think.
Yeah, right around in there. But it was the show in St. Louis where they had the accident where a platform or a deck in a campground collapsed and injured some people. But it was that show that I went and saw.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that was at the time I thought, that you don't get no better than that.
But I would like to have seen Jerry Garcia live. I would like to have seen, because he really, the band took a major hit when he passed.
Oh yeah,
and it's like I don't want to see Grateful Dead now because Jerry's not there.
They kept going and they had a few, kind of name changes.
Yeah,
the same members, but it just wasn't the same without Jerry Garcia.
What? No. And then you talked about the Eagles there.
Yeah.
And now where was that? Was that at Busch
That
Stadium?
was in Nashville.
Oh, Nashville. Okay, that was at Nissan. Maybe Nissan or?
No, it was at Brickstone.
Okay.
Brickstone Arena.
Okay. Oh, Bridgestone. I'm sorry. I now remember what you're talking about. Okay, I was thinking of a different stadium somewhere.
You're thinking about the Tennessee Titans stadium.
Yeah, I think that's
But this was Bridgestone Arena. They're right down.
Oh wow. Was it just the Eagles only? Was there another?
Eagles only. There was no.
Wow. Oh, and I like how they just walked out, just not even saying a word, and they just start jamming.
I mean, Tina was real happy because Vince Gill was there.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I learned a couple of things in that concert. One, Vince Gill can play the guitar because he was doing guitars for Hotel California with Joe Walsh, and I learned that Joe Walsh is a much better guitar player than I ever gave him credit for.
Really?
Yeah.
What about I don't know if he would have been on the tour with them, but what about Deacon Fry?
Oh, he was.
Okay.
Deacon Fry was the drummer.
Okay.
So.
Because I know that Glenn obviously had passed away by then, and I wondered about Deacon. I wondered if he was on tour with them because I know there was a time where he had left, but then he came back as part of their farewell tour.
He was with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there was also Timothy B. Schmidt, I think, too.
He was with them.
Okay.
He was with them.
Yeah.
It was basically all the original guys except
Henley, I think. And,
not Henley. Glenn Fry.
Glenn Fry, yeah.
Yeah. And Bernie Ledden.
Oh yeah, Bernie Ledden, yeah.
He wasn't with them, but
no.
He left the band quite a bit before.
Yeah. So. I was gonna say, but the Eagles, I bet they sounded so good, even though there's been some changes. Yeah,
it was, and you sit there and you look at these concert ticket prices and you go, and then you see the show and you go, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
for years I didn't pay for. I told myself for years because I was in radio for so long. I told myself, I said, I am never going to pay for a concert. I will never do that. And here I am.
What changed?
Just people that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
People came along. These guys aren't going to be here much longer.
No.
People like the Eagles, all of the Eagles, all of Earth and Fire, Lionel Ritchie. These guys are late 60s, early 70s. I mean, they're not going to be here much longer.
Retirement age.
If you get a chance to see them.
Mm-hmm.
You better take it while you have the opportunity.
So
that's what changed.
Whenever it comes to live music, what was the best and the worst show you went to?
There's been a lot of best. The Eagles. I mean, the one I saw, the latest one I saw was pretty good.
Yeah. Kind of right up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Grateful Dead was great. I saw YouTube years ago, or YouTube, not YouTube.
Yeah, I saw YouTube.
I got YouTube on my mind. Anyway, I saw YouTube.
Yes.
In Busch Stadium in St. Louis when they were using the. I don't even remember the name of the concert tour, but it was in the '90s when they had all the little East German cars.
Yes.
On the, and that was incredible because they had them attached to cranes and the lights were just.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that, I don't know, that's one of the best ones. Eagles, of course. Really the latest one I saw, Jimmy Buffett really comes to mind, though.
I just say, I think you told him about Jimmy Buffett before.
I just, we're huge, we're parrot heads, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I mean, we only got to see Jimmy 3 times live. But each time, it's just like a family experience. You tailgate before the show. You everybody's a family member when you go to a Buffett show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. We've seen a couple of Buffett tribute bands. Saw one this weekend.
Okay.
Down at Walker's Bluff Casino in Carbondale.
Yeah.
Got a chance to see that. Gone to Paradise, I think.
Okay.
They were really good.
Really?
Yeah.
We've been seeing some tribute bands lately. Like I think the AC/DC.
Mount Carmel's had a bunch of them. They had a Doobies Brothers tribute band.
Yes.
I think they had a Boston tribute band.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really cool. Worst concert I think I've ever saw.
I was wondering about that. There's got to be some sort of like live concert you were looking forward to seeing, and then like it just kind of didn't pan out the way you wanted to.
Yeah, I saw the Gin Blossoms.
Okay, yeah.
And while they were good, just the experience I had there.
Mm-hmm. Strange?
Well, it was strange. There was a mosh pit, which I thought was weird for a Gin Blossom show.
Yes.
And then partway through the show, everybody holds their phones up.
Yeah.
This guy was holding a lighter. And I'm sitting there, and next thing I'm sitting there, and next thing I know, this guy's going, I'm sorry, man. You lit my hair on fire. And I just turned around. I was like, really? Come on, seriously? You need to move away from me.
Did you ever feel the fire in your hair?
What? Not really.
Okay.
He just was smoking a little bit, and I heard him, patting on my head. Our first thought, what in the world is going on? And then he starts apologizing, and finally it dawned on me that he's holding a lighter.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it was a decent show.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Gin Blossoms had a reputation of they were huge partiers.
Yeah.
They had a reputation of being huge partiers, and a lot of times they
would
be a little inebriated.
Yeah. Well, there was it's so weird because I remember I went and saw Head East live at Carlisle Lake.
Yeah.
Several years ago. And I remember during the show there was Danny Walker, the lead singer for Head East. It was actually kind of a reunion day a little bit because John Schlitt was there and Roger Boyd from Carlisle. He's the leader of Head East and the keyboardist for him. And so he had some of the former members of Head East there. And Danny, he's actually, Billy. Did I say Billy? Yeah, Billy. Billy or Danny Walker. I call him Darren Walker. Darren Walker's name. Darren, the lead singer, he actually has a bottle of wine, and it's 97-degree heat. I was on 3 hours sleep, and I'll never will forget it. He's singing and everything like that. He has his bottle of wine. There's a fan, a woman, about the third row from the stage. She tries to take a drink out of the bottle. She has grabbed the bottle out of his hand, and he says, "That's mine," and he yanks it away.
Gosh.
And he was drinking a little bit, but I was like, I just felt sorry for the guys a little because they're about in the heat, and the drummer back there for him. I can see his face like beat red.
Oh yeah,
and he's got fans going, but it's still not helping anything.
When it's that hot,
it was hot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care where you are. You always hear people talk about dry heat out west. I don't know. When it's 100 degrees, 97 degrees, it's still hot.
It's still hot.
It doesn't matter whether it's a dry heat or humid heat. It's just hot.
See, this is why this time of year, it's better to go to an indoor concert.
Oh yeah.
Than go outdoor.
Well, see, like Jimmy, he never performed indoors.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always an outdoor concert.
He was like a tropical, outdoor type of guy.
Yeah.
That's who he was.
And there were certain places that he would go to every year.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come to St. Louis every year, and then the venue decided they weren't going to allow tailgating anymore.
Really?
So Jimmy Buffett decided he wouldn't go there. He always went to Cincinnati. He always went to Milwaukee. I don't understand, but he always went to Milwaukee. Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he always did that, but he always did.
Well, he liked Miller Lite beer up there.
Apparently so.
Or wherever beer's made up in Milwaukee.
Yeah. A little PBR or something.
You never know with Jimmy Buffett. But I can see that too. But sometimes that's all it takes is that one move from that venue, and it just steers the performers away.
I mean, it did, that was his stuff. And, Jimmy Buffett, the concerts are, it's an experience.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went to Cincinnati, we were listening to Sirius Radio.
Yeah.
In the car on the way down to, of course, Margaritaville.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And as we're driving down on the day, and And the days leading up to it, they're going on about, yeah, we're going to be out broadcasting live in Cincinnati starting at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And, I'm thinking, and people were showing up.
Yeah.
And they tailgate all day.
Was it WKRP in Cincinnati that was broadcasting that?
It was not. It was Margaritaville Radio.
Okay.
But it would have been a lot better if Les Nelson were on scene.
Dr. Johnny Fever.
Or Venus Flytrap.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
Yeah, that'd been awesome. But anyway, I wondered, we've been talking about live music, but I've wondered, going back to your younger years, what was the first album you bought?
Believe it or not, Earth, Wind, and Fire, all in all.
Seriously?
Yep, came out in 1977.
Oh my God.
And I still have that album.
No kidding?
No kidding.
Vinyl?
Still have it. Vinyl. You got
Vinyl. Ooh, I love vinyl.
Yeah.
I love the sound of vinyl.
Yep. You can't beat the sound of vinyl.
There was a band, Canned Heat. Yeah, Canned Heat.
Oh, yeah.
They just released a new album. I think it's Vinyl or Vinyl. They just released that recently.
Canned Heat. I have to check that out.
Yeah. And I actually listened to it on Spotify the other day. I listened to one of the songs on it because I like to listen to blues rock a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's something, too, about me. Like, I grew up on country, then eventually got into rock, and then I still listen to Christian gospel and everything. But if there's kind of like music that I think people will be surprised by, is I listen to a lot of blues rock. And so, I was hearing a good a blues rock song from the Steve Miller Band. I was listening to one, from Boz Scaggs. And
had a chance to see the Steve Miller Band one time.
Really?
Steve Miller came out. He was the opening act, Steve Miller.
Yes.
He came out and played it 30 minutes of acoustic blues before the rest of the band came out.
I like it.
Oh, it was great.
Where was that at?
Champagne.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll be. So I wondered, you listen to a lot of music. You're more like a rock type of guy, a little bit of country as well. But how has your music evolved over the years?
I've always been the type of person that I just like music.
Yeah.
I started out, I was listening to, good old R&B, disco back in the mid 70s. Then I kind of evolved and, went into the punk phase, the Ramones, and things like that. And, here's a punk band, Adam and the Ants.
Okay.
Not Adam Ant, but Adam and the Ants.
Adam and the Ants.
And surf punks and, things like that. And then I kind of mellowed out and, went to more of a, like a jazz, R&B type thing. And, never really got into the super hard rock. Yeah. But I do, there are certain Metallica, love Metallica.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I got into the country. And, it's just a mixture of everything and anything.
Yeah.
You look at my phone on my playlist. There's everything from, gospel, Southern gospel, to R&B, to punk, to new wave, to, rock. I got all these on my phone. I have all these different playlists. There's slow jam, there's old school, there's classic rock, there's gospel, there's blues, and country, and, I got one I can call croc, country rock.
Okay, croc, I like it.
It's really, really not heavy hitting, but upbeat pop, upbeat country,
right?
And then it's got Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner and Rosington Collins, things like that. So it's just it's I don't know. It's just a mixture of everything and anything.
You invented croc, the music genre.
I didn't invent it. I didn't invent it. I stole it.
I stole it. You stole it because I was thinking when you said croc, I immediately thought of the shoes as well. So
nope, not the shoes.
Not the shoes. We don't mean that. We mean the genre, like but music, a blend of genres, and some of it. It's all right. It's all right. No worries. Some of it's where you don't think it comes together well, but it actually does.
Oh, it does. It does. I went and saw a few years ago. I had a chance to introduced Rascal Flatts
Really?
before they hit it big at a small little concert venue in Taylorville, Nashville North. You probably remember that.
Yes, I used to live in Taylorville. Yeah.
So I had a chance to introduce them, and I'm sitting there, and they're playing the country music, and all of a sudden they break into, they break into Brick House by the Commodore. I'm going, okay, well, I got this. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, go back into the country, and
Huh.
I mean, that was really cool.
And you saw them before. Anyone that you saw before they made it big besides Rascal
I
Flatts?
saw Garth Brooks.
Okay.
The year before he made it big, he was at the Arcola Broomcorn Festival.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all places, I just went through Arcola recently, not too long ago.
Out of all places, the Arcola Broomcorn Festival. Garth Brooks is performing.
Wow.
Seems most of the bands I see, I won't say past their prime, but they're older bands.
Older bands.
Things that I grew up with.
Right.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any current bands.
I was gonna ask if you have.
Although, I would go, but I just my taste in music tends to lead toward stuff I grew up with, stuff that resonates.
I always wondered, is there, in terms of, I always feel like there's always those that are like at the top. But then you also have those that are just, I think they're under the radar, I feel like.
Right.
Is there anyone that, like band, singer, that's, you think it's like underrated or underrated that you think,
Well,
you need to go see?
we found if you're ever in Gatlinburg, okay, and you see a band playing by the name of Monroeville,
Okay.
okay, go see them.
Really?
Yeah, they play a lot around Gatlinburg. We were in Gat a few years ago, and we happened to see them play.
Yeah.
And I was just like, we gotta buy it. We gotta. So they were selling CDs. So we bought a couple of CDs.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mixture between traditional bluegrass and new bluegrass.
Really?
I mean, it's if you get a chance to. I mean, I think you can find them on Napster or Spotify or some place like that. But take a listen to them, man. Take a listen to their first album.
Okay.
Really good stuff. Really fun stuff. It's like you're in your car cruising down the highway or in your Jeep or whatever. It's stuff that just makes you feel good.
Well, there was probably, I talked about blues rock earlier, but there's I like, probably the underrated is the Altered Five Blues Band. They're based out of Wisconsin, and I listen to their stuff. Really good. They incredible musicians. Really good stuff.
Speaking of blues, we went to a blues festival.
Yeah.
Up at a winery up central Illinois a few years ago.
Okay.
And you may remember this, you may not. Somebody might remember this, but Southside Johnny and the Jukes were playing.
Okay.
I mean, this is a blues band from way back.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow. Southside Johnny.
There was another band I saw. I went to Quinker's Bar and Grill in Princeton a few years ago, and there was a three-man band. They were from Henderson, Kentucky. They were called the Hellhounds, I think. And I kid you not, they played ZZ Top, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and they sounded awesome for a three-man band.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, their second act got cut short because there were storms coming in.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed listening so much. I got to talk to the singer afterwards. He's like a really nice guy, and he actually lived in Fairfield for a moment of time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I was like, I told him, I said, I'm from Fairfield.
It's so weird.
He's like, seriously? And he's like, I was like, yeah. He told me a little bit about his time here.
But yeah, like I said, we were down at the casino there in Carbondale.
Yeah.
And they always have bands.
Yeah.
It's if I'm not winning anything by the time I spent $20, I'm done.
Yes.
I'm done. So we just sat and listened to bands. I mean, we listened to two really, really good bands on Friday night. And then on Saturday, we were at the pool Saturday afternoon, and they had a guy playing. It was really good.
Really?
Then they had a band started at 5 o'clock in the casino. Really good. They were like a high-energy dance band.
Yeah.
Then we went to the Jimmy Buffett tribute show. Came out of that, they had a 4-piece band out of St. Louis that was just, I mean, the female singer reminded me of Melissa Etheridge.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, really raspy, really good though.
Mm-hmm. Something about raspy voices that it just, I mean, you always have the baritone, the tenor, but having that raspy voice, it just, there's something about just, you're just hooked on it like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, I at one point I looked at people we were with and I was like, she sounds kind of angry.
Don't mess with her.
No, I'm not going to say anything. She just sounds angry.
Don't mess with her, whatever you do.
Yeah, so.
You know, we talked about your favorite genre of music, which I think is more like the rock, you know.
It's a, like I say, a little
rock.
bit of everything.
Yeah, you got fusion, yeah. But I think music has a way of affecting the mood and emotions. And there's always that song that you hear that I think sparks a memory, whether it's a good, bad, sad memory and everything. You know, like, I just think it just has that power.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
it can be an influence. It can be an influence.
There are a few of them. I mean, there are certain songs that you hear and you go, it remembers a bad time in your life or a good time in your life.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they trigger memories.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they trigger not so good memories.
Well, I know that there was Seals and Crofts, Closer to Me. Every time I hear that song, I just happen to have a breakup, and then like I just remember listening to that song just for on the drive home, and it's like every time I hear the song, that's what I think of.
I mean, for me, it's you know, because I grew up on an army base, military base.
Yeah.
For me, I remember back to the Heat Wave song, "Always and Forever."
Okay.
I mean, we were at a dance, and this girl, we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was a little too young to be dating, you know. But we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and you know, we were just almost inseparable.
Yeah.
For the summer, after the school dance, and you know, there before the next school year, they transferred out.
Oh.
You know, they moved out. I think even out of the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was just, and every time I hear that song, I think of that. Slow dancing with her.
But sometimes, you know, that's the thing. It's really where it brings back those memories. You know, that was one of them, and for me. But then like there's also songs too, like Phil Helm, who just passed away recently. I worked with Phil for a few summers at Street and Bridge, and he gave me like some of his CDs. Like he didn't give me all of them, but like he let me, you know, he burned a few for me and everything. And he actually had one of the greatest love songs I've ever heard was Lifehouse, Love of a Lifetime.
Oh, yeah. It's really good.
I heard that song. I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. And then he told me at work one day, he said, have you heard of a band called Sweat Hog?
Yeah.
I said, Sweat Hog? What? He said, yes. There's a band called Sweat Hog from the 70s.
I remember them.
And it had that song, Hallelujah is what it's called. The first time I heard that, I thought, whoa, Phil, you know your music, man.
You know, it's just, you know, one of those Sanford Townsend band.
Yeah.
Smoke from a
Distant Fire.
Yeah.
And then Silver.
Always makes me think of one of my best friends ever, Tim Parker.
Okay.
That was his favorite song
really?
Of all times.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to run a little classic rock show on a local radio station where we lived at, and he would call and request that song every day. And it was just, I mean, and then, you know, he passed away. And that just every time I hear that song, you know, a tear comes to my eye.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, miss you, Tim.
Yeah.
You know?
There was Silver. I just heard them the other day. I forgot all about them.
Oh, yeah.
Silver. They had a couple other songs, too, off their lone album that I really like. That should have been hits, I feel like, and then they just didn't turn out to be hits. It was really weird. But you know, one thing for sure is there's been a lot of trends and changes in the music industry over the years. And is there any that's maybe you're excited about, maybe you're worried about?
I'm excited about vinyl.
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Making
Oh,
a
yeah. We
comeback.
talked about, yeah.
Yeah, I kicked myself in the butt all the time because I got rid of all my vinyl when
Really?
I kept it for a long time.
Mhm.
CDs, I was like, they're not coming back. So I got rid of them.
Uh-huh.
Except there were a few I kept.
Right,
the
yeah.
Earth, Wind and Fire album, and
Yeah, yeah.
there were a few of them I kept, but it was just like, and then finally I got myself found myself one of those ancient turntables
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
from the '60s, the consoles with
Yeah.
the 8-track,
Yes.
and the AM/FM radio, and,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
we use it all the time. We have a good time with it. I love the way vinyl sounds.
Yeah, before Carol Dreeth moved, she let me have some of Mike's things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was gifted to me was Mike's turntable.
Yeah.
And so I have it in my house, and then along with this radio too. So it was, but yeah, I at least have a turntable. And, my mom actually has some vinyl, still has it, like the original Grease soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh, yeah. I remember years ago, very short-lived. The boom boxes from the early
Yes.
80s? They made one
Like, carry like an
with a turntable in it.
What?
Yeah, they made a boom box.
Oh,
with a
whoa,
turntable.
whoa. Wait a minute. No way.
Yeah, you could wander around and carry that boom box with your turntable.
How did that scratch? I mean, the needle had to have scratched the vinyl on
That's
it.
why it didn't last very long.
Oh, my gosh. I could just see some like walking down the street with a boom box, like on their shoulder. And,
They even had, at one point, an accessory on a car was a turntable.
Uh-huh.
This is, I think, 50s. or
My
something.
gosh.
Crazy.
What time to be alive back then. And by the
Yeah.
way, every time I was doing that, I felt like I was flexing my muscle, and I wasn't. But anyway, but man, I just.
I had one. I had the big one, man.
Uh-huh.
With the speakers you could take off, and spread them out.
Yes.
Parties,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would be like as if like you had like a microphone, and you had like a loudspeaker here and there, just kind of like that. But I tell you what, one trend has really caught on is AI, and I think about Randy Travis, where that came from, that song.
I don't know about that. I remember seeing. I never seen it. I saw it on TV, but they did that with Roy Orbison. Like
Yeah.
a hologram or something.
Yeah,
And I just kept thinking, I was like,
like where you see that hologram on stage, like it's like a ghost walking on stage. It's really
it's
weird.
just weird.
Yeah, but like I played around with AI a little bit in terms of like creating songs and everything.
Yeah.
I created one about Dustin Fuller, the newsman, and it literally was like a 1980s power ballad of a jam, and it is hilarious. I mean, it literally came up with the lyrics. It came up with the song, the instruments, and everything. It was the craziest thing. I'll have to let you listen to it after this. But hey, real quick, a couple more things here. If you could have dinner with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Man, I don't know.
I know it's a tough one for you.
Robert Johnson.
The blues, the
great
1920s, the
Yeah,
blues.
great
Yes,
blues guy.
I know you're talking about. Yes.
Yes. I just, did you really sell your soul to the devil? Really? Is that story true?
Mhm.
Come on.
Yeah.
I just, Robert Johnson, I think would be cool. B.B. King, I
Oh
think
yes.
would be cool.
Mhm.
But it's, I don't know. Like I say, Robert Johnson comes to mind.
Robert Johnson. See, he's still, people still talk about him and everything, but like, it's like he's kind of. I feel like there should be more info about him. I feel like there should be more. I just feel like there's some details about his life that I feel like are just hidden or we just don't know about, and I think it would be nice to see him like shed the light
Oh, yeah.
of what he did, who he was, because he's kind of like a mystery type of singer in a way. Where again, I think some details, of course, over the course of time, have kind of like gone in the dust.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it'd be nice to talk to him because he's one of the earliest pioneers of blues out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think he would be very, very interesting
Mm-hmm.
to talk to.
I would also say for me, I would say Waylon Jennings would be one I would like to. have Waylon, Johnny Cash. See, I'm kind of more the classic country a little bit, but probably the one who I think of is Don Rich, who was Bucko and Sideman. I have watched videos of Don perform. I've read about his life, and it just seems like
I remember watching him on Hee Haw.
Yes, and he was such a talented musician. And when he died in that motorcycle accident, Buck was never the same after that. But he would be the type of guy where I would love to have dinner with him, just to chat with him, and because he was just that good. But you see,
those guys from Hee Haw would be cool to talk with.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean the Hee Haw Gospel Quartet.
Yes.
I mean, they always do the gospel song every week on Hee Haw.
Yeah.
And I think those guys would be cool.
Archie and Roy and Buck and
Kenny.
I saw when a couple of years ago in Cincinnati, we had an Airbnb at Florence, Kentucky. That's where he was from.
Yeah.
It has a sign, Kenny Price, Memorial Highway. And when I saw that, probably none of the guys didn't even know who he was. But I was thinking, I know who that guy is because I remember him from Hee Haw.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It just caught me off guard. Didn't know that. But
I remember all those guys from Hee Haw, man.
Yeah.
We had to watch that along with the Lawrence Welk show.
Mm-hmm.
We had to watch that, and then, we watched American Bandstand and Soul Train when it came out. We watched that. I mean, we would just, I remember staying up late one night. I was in high school.
Yeah.
Staying up late to watch MTV sign on the air.
Really?
Yep.
So you saw the first second, I guess, of MTV just sign on. Wow.
Had a chance. That was really cool.
Huh.
At the time I was like, did I really just stay up to see this?
Yes.
Because they signed on at midnight.
Right.
And then the older I get, it's like, I guess that was pretty cool.
That was worth staying up late for.
Yeah.
It's like the midnight special, or it's like it's like midnight. Oh my gosh, midnight special! I watched the clips of it on YouTube, and the musicians they had on there, their talent was unreal.
What comes to mind when I hear that is the '70s show episodes where they had Jerry, the DJ.
Yes.
The sound, Jerry Sound. The thunder. And then you had thunder.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and it's this little bitty short guy.
I was watching.
It always comes to mind when I see that.
I was watching, I don't know if it was Midnight Special, I think it was, or maybe some other show, but Edgar Winter Group Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Like 9 minutes of it.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
Oh yeah. Well, see, back in the early days, radio.
Yeah.
Well, not the early days, but back when I started on radio.
Yeah.
We picked what song we were going to play based on what we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to run the bathroom. It'd be about an 9 minute song.
Yes.
If we were going to run a McDonald's, we'd throw on like the first side of Rush 2112.
Yeah.
Or we'd throw on the long version of Sweet Home
Free Bird, yeah.
We'd throw on the long version of that, or Whipping Post by the Allman Brothers.
Oh, great song.
It was like 24.
Great song. Yeah.
We'd throw them on.
But every time I hear this song, Frankenstein by Edgar Winter Group, I think back to the days back in 2009 when I got a call from Stan David at WFIW Radio.
Mm-hmm.
He called me and said, we'd like to have a job interview with you. So him and Dave went. And the thing is, I walk into Dave's office. I am nervous. I'm sweating bullets. My legs are shaking like a rubber goose. I'm walking in, and Dave has his radio on. And the song that I'm hearing is Edgar Winter Group Frankenstein. And every time I hear that song, that's exactly what I think of as that day, that job interview. And so it's like, again, we talk about music, how there's always that memory that just comes back to you.
Yeah, I know. It is. It just jogs a memory.
It's just like every time I hear that. And one more thing here, one more question, I'll let you go. But if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
I don't know. Maybe the Eagles, Take It Easy.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty laid back.
Maybe you are.
Not.
Mellow, yeah. Mellow and chill.
Just relax and, take it as it comes. And I always tell people all the time, who worry too much.
Yeah.
And I always say, you know what? don't worry about it till you're forced to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it easy. It'll be all right.
That's the thing too. It's like,
Of course, it could be. Don't worry, be happy. But
yeah, but it's something that where it's kind of upbeat. I like that. I really, because I was jamming out to that song the other night.
take it easy. That one, even Travis Tritt's version is really good.
Yeah.
But just relax, take it easy.
Yes.
Calm down. It'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. This has been fun. It's been fun chatting music with you.
Fun.
I tell you,
we could probably go another hour.
We probably could, but I'm getting hungry and everything like that. But anyway, we recorded this at supper time, so anyway, But I want to say the music though, it just has the power to change minds.
Music makes the world go round.
It does,
and it brings people together. I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, I told you earlier that at the Lionel Ritchie concert the other night.
Yeah.
One of the last songs he sang was "We Are the World," and there were. I don't know how many people that place, it was sold out. I don't know how many people that place holds, probably 30,000, maybe 25, 30,000.
Yeah.
But everybody was singing. And even when we went to see the Eagles, I mean, it was so cool that everybody was singing. It was like 2 hours of karaoke.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so cool.
It's like I was watching concerts. Well, the greatest live concert, Queen.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a Live Aid. I get it mixed up with Farm Aid, but it's Live Aid, 1985. And I watched that, and it's so cool, but also you get chills seeing the crowd there and just, jamming out to "We Are the Champions."
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just unreal still to this day. Even though I wasn't alive back then, but I watched that clip so many times. I watched the video so many times. And
they're just, and it starts, from the first concert to go. For me, it starts with the first concert I went to, which was Kiss Destroyer.
I forgot to ask you that. What was the first concert you went to?
Kiss Destroyer.
Okay.
I went with a friend of mine. His brother had bought 4 tickets.
Really?
And we're sitting there, and I always think back to that show when Peter Criss, the drummer,
Yeah.
comes out on stage, sits down on the edge of the stage, and sings "Beth."
Yes.
It's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I just, and then the high energy, a Kiss show, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just. I've seen some pretty stupid people at concerts,
Yeah.
and then I've seen some people who are just above and beyond respectful. I remember going to a concert a few years ago with some friends, and we had to threaten a person.
What?
We had to threaten a person. We were at Sammy Hagar.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we happened to get some tickets from a friend of ours. And I can tell this story now.
Go
We
ahead.
got them from a lawyer office.
Okay.
And at the radio station I was working at.
Okay.
They came and said, "Hey, give these away."
Yeah.
So I called a buddy of mine. I said, "Hey, man, how'd you like to go see Sammy Hagar?" Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, you're our winner. Okay, I'm going to call you here in a few minutes. You got to talk to me on the radio." I said, "But you have to take me to the show."
Okay. Yeah.
So we go to the show, and it was in St. Louis at the Fox Theater.
Oh, Fox.
So
Yep.
we're walking down. We show the person our ticket. "Oh, you need to go farther down." We end up in the orchestra pit, like 4
Oh my
rows,
gosh.
4 rows from the stage. I mean,
Oh
we're
my
close
gosh.
enough that Sammy'd swing. We'd have Sammy sweat on us.
Oh my gosh.
But halfway through the show, partway through the show, they throw out guitar picks and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, they threw out guitar picks, and this little kid, I don't know, he was 10, 12. You could tell it was probably his first concert ever.
Yeah.
Well, threw out a guitar pick in his direction. Well, he kind of hit the chair in front of him and bounced.
Oh.
This dude reaches over, just yanks that pick from this boy's hand.
Whoa.
We were sitting right behind this guy.
Oh.
4 of us, and I was the smallest one of the bunch. 4 of us stand up, tap him on the shoulder, and say, "Look, you need to give that. You're gonna have some trouble if you don't give that pick to that boy." And it just made his day. Probably made his whole year.
Probably.
It was so cool.
During my
But
days.
that guy was just so, stupid.
Yeah, just so arrogant.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
It's like
You know.
it's like baseball when I've seen clips of like fans. They catch that home run ball or that foul ball. And there's like a little kid right next to them. They don't give it to that little kid, or they snatch out of that little kid's hand, and you're just like, come on.
I would never do that, or I would snatch it and then
Give it to. You're right, but you get what I'm saying. It's like that's like what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, but I remember when I was at Eastern, I saw my first year, which would be my junior year, because I went to Wabash Valley, so took the fast track university-wise. But junior year, it was REO Speedwagon.
Seen REO a couple of times.
Yeah.
Never was a huge REO fan until the first time I saw him live.
Okay.
And then it was just like, oh.
Really? Yeah. And then the year after that was Cheap Trick.
Never had a chance to see Cheap Trick. Have never had a chance to see that.
If I had to compare which one I like better between the two, REO, I like them over Cheap Trick.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cheap Trick, I actually had a camera. I could tell the story. So I had a camera where I was taking photos because it's a dark, Lance, I keep calling it Lance Arena, it still is, but Lance Arena is so dark. And so I'm taking photos and everything like that. Anyway, I get security comes over to me and says, hey, you need to disable that flash on your camera. Because I guess it's kind of blinding, I don't know, Robin Sanders' eyes or who or whatever. So I never thought too much of it, but I was trying to get, better lighting because it's dark and you have all these lights going on. So I did turn off the flash, but I was like, really, dude? I mean, come on.
I don't know. I saw a concert one time. Saw the SOS band when I was in college down at Murray.
Okay.
The guy's playing a guitar solo. He breaks the string.
Yes.
Kind of sits back, pulls that string up, and he goes, and continues playing the same solo in a different key. I was just like, whoa,
Yeah. You may have to stick with that key from now on if you're.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so cool that he was talented enough to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not my experience with musical instruments, I could play the sandbox or the triangle.
Yeah.
But I never could be a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at one time I could play the piano a little bit.
Yeah.
But
No.
Nah. I could play Mary Had a Little Lamb, Chopsticks.
Yeah.
That was it. That is about as far as I got.
Yeah.
Too many finger injuries, hand injuries.
Yeah.
Doing other things that somehow I regret these days.
One thing that I try to do here is I try to support local acts when I can.
Oh, we love going out and see live music.
Live music is just, even if it's someone local, it's like, as long as I'm available, as long as I have time, I'll make that effort to go see, someone live.
They're not doing it right now, but the Elks sometimes on Friday nights they'll have just a guy in with his guitar playing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just to us. That's just heaven.
Mm-hmm.
We can just go in there, eat a bite at the Elks, and just sit back and listen to a guy just play acoustic, and it's really cool.
When I was in Taylorville, I went to a Mexican restaurant, and there's a guy set up. He's actually playing music off his keyboard.
Yeah.
He's a keyboard player. And I was thinking of a song for him, and I was like, well, how about the Blues Brothers, Ray Charles, Shake Your Tail Feather? Yeah. He's like, okay. So he started jamming up. Mark, he was good. And he even did like this jamming solo. I still have video of it, I think, on my Instagram. And he's like, he's just into it.
Yeah. I mean, music can be a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
It can be.
And it should be. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It like I said earlier, it brings people together.
Yeah.
I think it.
I think it does too.
When I go to these concerts, when I go to concerts, we always try and talk to the people behind us, in front of us, next to us. We go, hey, where are you from?
Yeah.
How far did you come to get here? And by the end of the show, we're all just having a good time together. We leave the show, probably never hear from them, see them again.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching Confederate Railroad and just talking to the people around. and I was about 3 rows from the stage, and just talking to people around, and just kind of asking, where they're from, what, how'd you find out about the concert, that sort of thing, and your first time here, maybe not.
And like I was telling you earlier, the Jimmy Buffett concerts.
Yeah.
We went one time to one over in St. Louis, and a guy had this big plaster parrot and a Sharpie. And he was just walking around the parking lot, having people sign the Sharpie.
Yeah.
And then, of course, and the last time we went to Cincinnati, this guy had a big old beach ball. Of course, it was 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Big old beach ball and a Sharpie, having people sign it.
Uh-huh.
By half an hour, you couldn't see because it got so sweaty and wet that it was just running. You couldn't read who's on the thing. But
yeah, can you imagine if it would be like Castaway with Tom Hanks and Wilson the volleyball? Can you imagine that? He brings Wilson the volleyball over, like, will you sign this?
I mean, it's just. I mean, it was just like I said, it brings people together, and that's.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a people person, and just love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it more than I used to.
Yeah.
It used to be like, I'm never going to a concert. I want to deal with the people.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just, I want to go deal with it. I want to see the people. We'll see what people do. I want to see how people act.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy 25,000 people and singing, Sweet Caroline,
Yeah.
or Margaritaville, or,
Yeah.
an Eagles tune or whatever.
Right. Right. But lots of music memories, man.
Yeah.
Lots of music memories, live and through vinyl and CD and streaming and everything. Lots of it. But hey, it's been fun.
Oh, it has been a blast.
It's been fun talking music. Yeah, I appreciate you coming over. It was been a lot of fun here. By the way, this is the Listening Lounge. I'm Derek Dunn. This is Mark Turner. Stay tuned for the next edition of the Listening Lounge coming in early July. Until then, so long, and don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to the Listening Lounge, as we have these social media channels down below and also in the description. Until then, so long. Thanks for watching and listening.